Essence of a civilization to flourish.
Water.
We are standing in the river Manhar now, which is deserted and dried up. So this is where the civilization begins. So you would have read that Dholavira had two rivulets actually. It's not a huge perennial river that was there. There used to be water flow, which was just essential for less number of inhabitants, and this was able to be put into a check dam and then fed into a reservoir, and then more people could flourish. So that was the idea of Indus Valley people. They thought that they could divert river into channels and into reservoirs, and they conserved as much water as possible into wells and step wells. They dug wells, they dug reservoirs. Inside reservoirs they dug wells so that they could conserve more water, and that's why they flourished as it should have. For 1,500 years, 2,000 years, if civilization has to flourish, you need to have that continuity of water and all the resources that needs to be there. This got extinct because of lack of resources, lack of maintenance, and just general abandonment. As simple as that. So we will go from this riverbed, we will go through the north gate, enter the castle, and then see all the part of Middletown, Bailey, Lower Town and everything, and then we will exit through the same route. Okay, we will take everything slow. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
This is Manhar or Mansar?
Manhar.
Other side is Mansar.
Okay. Wherever we are, when we have to have directions that we wanted to know, we will look at the sun. During the sunset, we'll keep it on the west side. This is east. So this is on the eastern side of the site, and on the western side, sorry, northwestern side, that is where the other river is. Manhar. The two rivers, they are diverted. When we go inside, you'll see the site goes further down that side, further down that side, and further down that side. This is ceremonial ground, the center, or not the exact center, but a part of the main town area. So this part is the other part on the other side, that's called the lower town. This area, we'll go that side also, we'll go explore that side as well. So one by one we'll do. So this is the main part that we wanted to cover first before the sun goes down. So that is the middle town. So why they call this metropolis? Usually what happens is when you establish a village, it's always a collection of houses, and then after that they construct important buildings around it. So it won't be a planned place. When you're planning a metropolis, you always plan the major important government structures or the place where the rulers live or like the water structures and all, those first. So this was the first part that was constructed, and then around it came a village on its own. Like people came and settled down, they were allotted plots, they built their houses, and that's how this became a huge city. So that's the difference between being a metropolis and being Chennai. Chennai was nothing at all. Chennai as a town developed because Britishers came and built Georgetown. They built Fort St. George, and around it they had White Town and Black Town, and then slowly it expanded outwards. It was not inwards like how villages are built, or in a collection of communities how villages exist. So that is an example that I could put in an analogy for you to understand. Okay?
Madhav, the site was like huge, few acres across all directions, right? So it's not like there's something in the center, there's nothing on the outskirts. So the mounds that we are seeing here,
Yeah, those are
possibly something down
Yeah,
there.
there will be something down there.
Yeah, this mount, for example.
This one, for example. There might be some artifacts which are still inside. We don't have the funding for excavation yet. They have not excavated this part also extensively. They've excavated that the main area. They took the seals out and then they opened it for public to view. If they usually what they do is they excavate and then they close up the site. Because of the weather conditions, they can't protect this place. If they are unable to take the artifacts out, the artifacts will get exposed to weather and then it gets eroded away. So they don't want that to happen. Like ASI, even I went to a site called Bildana and Rakhi Gadi also. That site is almost 20% excavated. It's much bigger than this is. That's the largest site in the entire Indian subcontinent, an Indus Valley site called Rakhi Gadi.
Rakhi Gadi was the one where we got that documentary, Manoj Bajpayee created documentary. He was the narrator. It was on the Discovery.
Rakhi, where is it?
Rakhi Gadi is in Haryana.
Haryana. It was recently, so they found some more artifacts there that changed the way we look at the Harappan civilization. Like some weapons and everything. Is that the same thing?
Maybe, I am not sure. I've been to Rakhigarhi, but I didn't go to the museum, so I don't have that information in my brain right now. Possible, it might be possible. But I think still excavations are pending, like in all the places, because we have not deciphered the script yet. I think, okay, when we are deciphering a script, there used to be a tablet which has written in two languages. So they'll compare the alphabets, they'll compare the literature framework of the grammar and all, and then they'll decode the language. That's how it happens. So till now they have not found a Duolingo tablet of the Indus Valley civilization area. So that's why they are unable to decipher it. They can compare it to the nearest language that was existing at that time. It was always standalone. The script was always standalone.
Yeah, usually.
And right to left. So think about the deciphering part. So what they found here, this is the north gate. So like a main entrance of the city. So usually they put up signboards and all, right? Before you enter a city, they're like, welcome to Dholavira or whatever. So you can see the hollow place, and same is existing on the right side also. So when you enter a major town or a place, there'll either be guard towers or toll plazas, something of that sort. So they're speculating that this was either of those, that either watchtowers, guard towers, or a toll plaza, so that people can pay the toll and then enter the city. It must be either of that. Okay. And on this right side there was a huge plaque in wood that had the words that you saw on the door. Okay. Now wood erodes over time. Then how did we find the letters ages ago? Right now, when we were unearthing? No. It is not capable of fossilizing just 5,000 years. It has to take a lot of time. What happened was...
Maybe something inside it.
No. What happened was, the wood plaque that was kept over time fell face down like this. Okay? With the words as is. And it got covered over with dirt, and then it got preserved. Wood eroded, but the mark that it left was intact. So when they unearthed, they saw the symbols and not the wood with the symbols in it. So it was ulta actually, like how you see a mirror image. That's how it was registered, face down, right here on that part. So this was a major discovery that they unearthed when they were unearthing Dholavira. So they thought that Indus Valley language must be a fully literate, full-fledged grammar-filled language, because if they are putting up signboards and people can read, it has to be like existing in a lot of places, and people should be having the knowledge of understanding it. Because no one puts signboards for illiterates. Yeah, there should be, yeah. Because yeah.